This is Major Stories. Good evening, I'm Oliver Watt. The Economic Growth Council is blaming the lack of accountability of senior government officials for the sluggish performance in the economy. The council says that structural reform is needed to achieve its plan for 5% growth in 4 years. Jamaica News-Nov reports.
The Economic Growth Council is calling for action as the government approaches year 4 of the growth plan, which it argues has not been abandoned. The council announced an ambitious plan of 5% growth in 4 years back in 2016. However, the growth trajectory has not been consistent with the plan. The Planning Institute of Jamaica says for the quarter ending September, the economy grew by only 0.3%. Co-chair of the EGC, Michael Lee-Chin, says there is no accountability for government leaders who fail to perform, and for this reason, the 5 in 4 mantra is being threatened. He argued that the process starts with the permanent secretaries.
While there are good people in the bureaucracy doing their very best every day, their efforts are being frustrated by the basic structure of our inherited governance structure of not being able to remove permanent secretaries for underperformance. I'm therefore calling on both sides, the opposition and the government, to work together to change the laws protecting non-performing permanent secretaries from being removed.
Mr. Lee-Chin lists the Amanda project, which was supposed to be implemented in 2015, as an example. Amanda is an electronic platform for developers to apply online, track their application, and allow the public to view the status of the application. It was supposed to make it easier to do business. However, Jamaica's rank in the Ease of Doing Business Index dropped from 64 in 2013 to now 71.
The project is 4.5 years behind. So what are some of the excuses we have heard? Well, a project team is required. There is no project manager. No one is accountable. This is after 4.5 years. There's no project manager. Various challenges arise as we go along. As late as this past Friday, the online payment program had a problem. It was spitting out negative invoices.
He says the delay is costing the country billions of dollars in foreign direct investment.
I'm told that every one place in ranking is worth $500 million US in FDI, foreign direct investments. Therefore, having fallen by 7 places, that has cost the country over $3.5 billion in FDI.
Jamila Maitland for CVM Live.
The People's National Party has written to the Auditor General requesting a full investigation into the Farm Roads Rehabilitation Program undertaken by RADA. The move follows yesterday's press conference where the PNP accused RADA of misuse of public funds. The accusations were however rejected by the RADA chairman. Khadija Thomas reports.
The People's National Party, PNP, has taken further action in investigating the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA. This follows Tuesday's press conference where the opposition leader, Dr. Peter Phillips, made this statement.
We have identified evidence that in St. Thomas alone, total contracts were prepared in the amount of $1.6 billion, more than 3 times the amount originally budgeted island-wide. And that $1.6 billion was for bushing alone.
According to the PNP, the Auditor General should examine the funds spent by RADA on the bushing program in St. Thomas with urgency, as the recent claims being made by the RADA chairman are far-fetched, according to its findings.
We can state categorically that the spend in St. Thomas for the year 2017-18, which is the year that they have referenced, is just about $31 million on 5 or 6 roads, and also that the spend in St. Thomas between 2015 to 2018 is approximately $74 million.
The PNP says Myri's statement is simply an attempt to detract from RADA's alleged breach of government financial rules. The party is now comparing RADA to other scandals. RADA has since issued a letter to its employees advising them that no member of staff other than its chairman should speak publicly on the matter. Khadija Thomas, CVM Live.
There is a repeated call for Jamaicans to eat what is grown here instead of buying foreign foods. The call is being made by the Minister of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Audley Shaw, while reinforcing the economic impact of imports on the island. He was speaking at the Emmanuel Christian Academy School for Eat Jamaica Month. Here again is Khadija Thomas.
Eat what we grow, grow what we eat has become a tagline for Jamaica's agricultural sector, with an additional call for Jamaicans to buy local produce. Agriculture Minister Audley Shaw says it is time to shift Jamaica from being too reliant on using imported food.
When it is now known without a shadow of a doubt that the more nutritious food that we can feed our children are grown, are homegrown. All right, so this is where we now have, by government policy, we have to not just leave everything up to the decisions of each school, but to put together a formal program to which they will be obliged to comply.
The Agriculture Minister says plans are also underway to introduce eggs in school.
Homegrown school feeding program, to which I made reference in my speech, it will involve, and it's about to involve, very critical dialogue between three key ministries: my ministry, the Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness, because we're going to have an agreed position in terms of standard menus and so on across the board, including, of course, making sure that we use eggs in our schools. That is absolutely vital.
The president of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Lenworth Fulton, reiterates this statement, but adds, though Jamaica cannot cut its import bill to zero, citizens must still buy into more local items.
We are self-sufficient in pork and poultry, and we could be in beef, in goat, and many other things. We are already self-sufficient in all our vegetables, except a few that food, gourmet food that they will get to run restaurants and so on. But we are improving.
Khadija Thomas, CVM Live.
15 students from the College of Agriculture, Science and Education will be the first cohort to be awarded agricultural study to Israel. The 11-month training program, a direct result of an Economic Growth Council initiative, comes after a meeting with the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development of India and the Minister of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Audley Shaw. Aladdin Loeb reports.
You're looking at 15 students from the College of Agriculture, Science and Education, CASE, who have been given the opportunity to study in Israel from November 2019 to October 2020. Minister of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Audley Shaw, says it was many years ago that such an engagement took place. This he describes as years wasted.
When we got our independence in 1962, Israel and Jamaica were roughly at the same levels of per capita income. Average income per person. Okay? And now what, 50 or so years later, more than 50 years later, you're headed to Israel, among other things, to learn about technology, and the technology in agriculture, among other things.
Shaw goes on to state that in 1970, in a single year, Jamaica's economy grew by 11.9%. However, in 1972, Jamaica moved backwards as the economy grew by 9.2%, all while Israel continued growing. Fast forward to now, Shaw says Israel's per capita income is 40,000 United States dollars, while Jamaica is less than 6,000.
They extract salt from the seawater to irrigate their lands because they don't have the rainfall that God has blessed us with in Jamaica. And their levels of agricultural productivity is unbelievable.
Shaw leaves the students with a very strong message.
It is said also that in every adversity there's a seed of greater benefit. You are part of that seed of greater benefit. Take your mission to Israel seriously.
Next time, he wants at least 50 students to take part in the program. Aladdin Love for CVM Live.
The National Plan of Action for an Integrated Response to Violence Against Children has been launched. This follows Tuesday's special sitting of Parliament, where children addressed the House, calling for leaders to treat their issues as a priority. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information and several other agencies joined together to announce the expected outcomes of the Plan of Action on Tuesday. Khadija Thomas reports.
The focus of this national plan of action is to protect Jamaica's children. It has been several months since Cabinet approved the strategy as an integrated response for children and violence, a part of Jamaica's commitment to end violence against the children. With 46 children being murdered in 2018 and 7 out of 10 children under 15 years old subjected to corporal punishment, child protection agencies are doing more to safeguard the nation's youth.
Each year we read a scroll of more than 60 children who have died due to tragic and violent circumstances. The aim is to, after this plan, we may never have to host a vigil. We must work together so that Jamaica can be a place to raise families in a harmonious environment.
Adding to this, the State Minister in the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, Floyd Green, says this is an indication that Jamaica is serious about protecting children.
We all know that violence against our children is an issue worldwide. But we believe, especially in this region, that Jamaica can be that model society and that model country in putting the appropriate mechanisms in place. So for us, this is a critical step.
The plan involves collaboration between several government ministries, agencies and departments. The objective of the NPACV is to reduce the impact of violence against children through an integrated approach to prevention, control, intervention responses, monitoring and evaluation. Khadija Thomas, CVM Live.